Another good example today about why liberals are crazy. The city of Austin has an equity commission. I'm not sure why, but they have actually recommended that they change the name of the city of Austin because Stephen of Austin said some nasty stuff about slaves and wouldn't free the slaves. And so we're supposed to erase everything else and continue to erase history by changing the name of the city of Austin to, let's say, liberal freaks.
Well, here's the problem, that I don't think that will ever work and pass through the legislative house here in Texas or the state Senate. But I understand on the moral ground why they're saying do it. Remember, sir, Stephen of Austin is one of the founding fathers here in Texas. And we're taught and still teach children in school to celebrate the founding fathers of Texas.
As we should.
But you got black kids celebrating a man who hated black people, was directly involved in slavery, and also was a killer himself. So now here it is, you got children of color celebrating a man who hated their very existence. You're asking Hispanic children to celebrate men like Sam Houston and Stephen of Austin, who was a murderer of Hispanic and Latino people, including men, women, and children. Yeah, would you ever tell your children to celebrate Osama bin Laden?
No. But I'll tell you something else. Stephen of Austin was concerned, and I'm not defending this. Stephen of Austin was concerned, and in a way I think he was sort of right, that freeing the slaves would create all kinds of problems too. And I think that has manifested to a certain degree. I'm not saying they should have ever had slaves.
It is true that when they freed us, they did not free us correctly. When they freed us, they should have made sure that they appropriated mandatory money and funding for mental and psychological rehabilitation and treatment, because we had been mentally enslaved and mentally destroyed. They should have appropriated money for appropriate education and housing. They should have gave us reparations. Why? Because they even gave reparations to slave owners who had to give up their slaves because it was considered a loss of property.
Yeah,
so they paid them, but they wouldn't pay reparations to slaves.
All right, so
man, come on, brother.
I'm going to use the Jew reference here. The Jews were freed out of bondage in Egypt. Do you suggest now that we destroy all the pyramids and all the stuff that were built by slaves in Egypt? Is that what you're recommending?
No, because I believe that when you study ancient Jewish history, you understand that the original Jewish people were the Falasha Hebrewic Jews. You understand that those people were not white. The original Jews are black. Research your history. When you study the ancient Metnunetta and Egyptology, you will see that the original Jews were not from Europe. They're black people in what you call Africa. Those pyramids were not built by you and your ancestors. They were built by black people. White folks didn't build no pyramids in Egypt. I know you want to say that all of the great queens in Egypt were white women, but no, baby, they were black-skinned people in Egypt who built those pyramids. So you're right. We don't want to change history. Let's tell the truth about history.
And the truth is, I don't care what color folks are. I don't want to do any more stuff about changing nothing. We've knocked down some monuments. Everyone feels better, I guess, even though it's the history, and for a lot of people in the South, a proud history.
And we better tell the truth about this racist, bloody history that you're proud of.